Hi guys, here today to review Making Globalization Work by Joseph E. Stiglitz. This book published in 2006 by W. Norton and Company, and hardcovers come in 330 pages. I read this book as an ebook as well as a free review copy. Joseph E. Stiglitz, a former Yale, Princeton, and Stanford professor, spent most of the 1990s atop the commanding height of this globalizing economy, first as the chairman of Bill Clinton's Council of Economic Advisors, and then as chief economist at the World Bank. After returning to academia with a position at Columbia, Stiglitz became one of three recipients of the 2001 Nobel Memorial Prize for his research on the economics of information. And this book, Making Globalization Work, is actually his sixth book. Stiglitz talks about making globalization work, survey the inequities of the global economy, and the mechanism by which developed countries exert an excessive influence over developing nations. Stiglitz walked the reader through a series of issues, from trade in intellectual property rights to global warming and the role of the multinational corporation. Each of the book's chapters frame a problem, provides some analysis, and propose solutions. On page after page, Stiglitz argued that globalization holds out great promise as a force for good, but that the rules of the present international economic order are designed and enforced by the rich nations to serve their interests. As a result, they are inequitable and inefficient. Making Globalization Work has sold more than 2 million copies, and book review will be explained in the next video.
Stiglitz writes about the reason globalization did not achieve its goal in raising the living standard throughout the world, give poor countries access to overseas markets so that they can sell their goods, allow in foreign investment that will make new products a cheaper price, and open borders that people can travel abroad to be educated, work, and send home earning to help their families and fund new business. Stiglitz walks the reader through a series of issues from trade and intellectual property rights to global warming and the role of the multinational corporation. Stiglitz argued that globalization holds out great promise as a force for good, but that the rules of the present international economic order are designed and enforced by the rich nation to serve their interests. As a result, they are inequitable and inefficient. Liberalization can, when done fairly, when accompanied by the right measure and the right policies, help development. Trade liberalization will have to be managed in a way very different from what in the past. For example, as mentioned in the book, North American Free Trade Agreement or NAFTA that ended in 1994 with 376 million people and a GDP of nearly 9 trillion US dollar has not worked. While it has not been the disaster that its critics predict, neither has it brought all the benefits that were claimed by its advocates. In the end, after a quarter century of NAFTA took effect, in 2019, high officials from Mexico, Canada, and the United States signed a new agreement called the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement or USMCA and is sometimes characterized as NAFTA 2.0. The agreement resulted from renegotiation between the NAFTA member states beginning in 2017, characterized as tumultuous. This centered primarily on auto export, steel and aluminum tariff, and the dairy, egg, and poultry markets. Stiglitz used his command of economic logic to good effect, offering clear discussion of dozens of complex issues that from patent law to abuse in international trade. Many critics complain that drug companies overcharge poor countries, but Stiglitz goes further and makes a convincing case that this is not only immoral but also economically inefficient. The hope of the big drug companies was that trade-related aspects of intellectual property rights would make it more difficult for generic versions of their drug to be produced. When in the late 1990s, Brazil and South Africa flooded the idea of issuing compulsory license for AIDS medicine, the American drug company were outraged, claiming that TRIPS didn't allow this even for AIDS drugs and filed a complaint with the World Trade Organization. However, after more than a decade of this condition, currently world generic drug competition has brought the price of AIDS medicine for 11 million people living with HIV virus in poor and developing countries much cheaper. The difference is almost 100 times cheaper in the last 10 years, moving down from 10,000 US dollar to 100 per person per year.
Another thing discussed in this book is related to the global warming that is following the globalization, where the rapid growth in the technology and also the industrialization. Yet no country wants to pay to fix it. Stiglitz has provided some solutions to this problem by giving incentives to the country to protect their forests and to make people pay for making pollution by the tax regulations. Nowadays, people try to solve the global warming problem by the technology, followed by the blue economy and the circular economy concept. Another thing is about the multinational company. Multinational company has become the crucial part of globalization since they bring impact to the countries where they do the business in. In developing country, MNCs bring some benefits such as introducing the developing countries to the international market and also being an agent of knowledge transfer. But sometimes with the power they have, they do some corporate evil that is affecting the society and also the environment. For example, the Nestle campaign about the baby milk, also about the Exxon case that is related to the massive oil spill and their attempts to avoid paying the compensation. The effort that the world's now doing to solve this problem is by applying the ESG concept in the corporate standard operation, which is aligned with the solutions that is provided by Stiglitz in this book. Another issue following the globalization is the burden of debt. Some countries need debt to revive from crisis, but paying back the debt is harder than it thought. There are three ways if the country couldn't pay the debt. The first one is debt forgiveness, and then the debt restructuring, and the third one is default. According to the book, there are 5 keys to reform from this problem, and that's based on the principles that the countries should borrow very conservatively and do in their own currencies, while the lender should be aware of the high risk they might not be repaid. And in case the debt restructuring is occurred, it is need to be done very fast and also debtor friendly. Next is about global reserve system. Reserve is important for countries to reduce the cost of instability, but current global reserve system is contributes to the global instability. Stiglitz suggested some solutions by changing the means of the global reserve system to fund the global public goods and helps the poorest countries. The book is also talk about democratizing globalization. The main problem is the economic globalization is outpacing the political globalization. The issue this day is about the threat of the outsourcing, which is happen in Indonesia. This can lead to the wage stagnation of the local labor and also creating high levels of anxiety to the workers that job is at risk. Next is about the democratic deficits in global governance. There are significant needs in IMF, but the trust to them is slowly disappearing because of their failures in the past. The international policy is far from fairness to the poorest country. Stiglitz provides some suggestions regarding to this problem. First is reforming the institutional arrangement and to think carefully about the decision making at international level. Greater interdependence caused by globalization give rise to the greater needs of the global action to solve some problems regarding the negative externalities and also the provision of global public goods.
Stiglitz described the globalization as it has been managed seems like a path to the devil. A few people in the country become wealthier, GDP statistics for what they are worth look better, but ways of life and basic values are threatened. For some part of the world, the gains are even more tenuous, the cost more palpable. Closer integration into the global economy has brought greater volatility, insecurity, and more inequality. The thorough process of globalization is generating unbalanced outcomes both between and within countries. Wealth is being created, but too many countries and people are not sharing in its benefit. Stiglitz gives solution for globalization to work for the benefit and well-being of all developed and developing countries. A new global contract between developed and developing countries should be created, and it should be balanced. The ingredients for this are a commitment by developed countries to a fairer trade regime, one that would actually promote development. A new approach to intellectual properties and the promoting of research, which would recognize the importance of developing countries' access to knowledge, the necessity of the available of life-saving medicines at affordable prices, and the right of developing countries to have their traditional knowledge protected. A commitment by the developed countries to pay the developing countries fairly for their natural resources and to extract them in ways that do not leave behind a legacy of environmental degradation. A renewal of the commitment already made by the developed countries to provide financial assistance to the poorer countries of 0.7% of GDP. But this time, a renewal should be accompanied by action to fulfill that commitment. But at the end of the day, of course, developing countries must do their part. The responsibility for successful, sustainable development have to rest on the shoulders of the developing country themselves. So that's our review on Making Globalization Work by Joseph E. Stiglitz. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a great day. Goodbye.